Just a couple points to ponder here. Under fractions, subheading, multiply and divide. Multiplying, dividing. And we'll go hyper speed warp there, just because we've done this before and I don't think we need to spend that much time on it. How do you multiply fractions? Well, to multiply, you just multiply across. That double C across. There are two C's and across now. Which just means this. If I have 1/3 times 2/5, you simply just multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 5 is 15, and everybody's happy. You can't reduce this. By the way, anytime with fractions, you always simplify the answer, so got that? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. What is different about multiplying and dividing? How do you divide by fractions? Danny says, yeah, which we're going to get to in a minute here. To divide by fractions, you actually flip and multiply by the second fraction. And please, 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 children, emphasize, star, do whatever you need to do. It is the second fraction. Too many times I see people flipping the first one, and that just gives you an upside down, completely backwards answer. For example, let's say I have 1/3 divided by 2/5. It's the second fraction you're flipping and multiplying, so it's 1/3 times 5/2. And then it becomes a multiplication problem that you multiply across with 1 times 5, 2 times 3 is 6. 5, 6. Stay on that. And we'll get to what Amy said here just in a minute here. You're going to need a couple more pieces of paper. But before that, please understand this. In math, the word of generally 90% of the time means to multiply. Okay. So if something says, what is 1/2 of 5/8, that is just the same thing as 1/2 times 5/8, which would simply be 5/16. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hahn's helpful tip for today is this. Write down this example problem. How many 1/8 are in 1/2? How many 1/8 are in 1/2? Now, children, River Kavaric included, mostly. If you sat and actually did this out physically, the question they're asking you is how many 1/8 do you find in 1/2? So that means this. Here is my half a circle. Well, let's say there's my half a circle, but I'm just for fun, because I want to know how many 1/8 are in it, I'm actually going to also cut this into 8s. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, but I only have a half a circle, so I'm going to erase the other half that I don't have. I don't have this half. And right now you can tell me the answer to that. There's my half a circle. How many 1/8 are in 1/2? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you don't want to have to draw the circle there, so you have to figure this out you know this is a division problem because anytime you're saying, how many 6s are in 12 or whatever it is, when you're finding groups, it's a division problem. But the question is, it very much matters which one you put first. Is this 1/8 divided by 1/2, or is it 1/2 divided by 1/8? And that's the question you have to answer. And that's usually the most confusing thing. Okay? So, here's my helpful hint to you in anything that you do mathematically later on here in 7th, 8th grade and beyond is, it's the fraction part that confuses you. So if you can put regular numbers in, instead of 1/8 pick a number, instead of 1/2 pick a number, and see which one goes where when you do that. For example, if I said, how many 2s are in 12? How many 2s? How many 2s? If you have 12 things, how many groups of 2 can you get out of that? Chloe? 6. How would you write that out as a division problem? You would write 12, which is the 1/2, divided by 2. So it is 1/2 divided by 1/8. And if you do the process that we said, you flip and multiply, you get 1/2 times 8/1, and that's where the 4 comes from, because you get 8/2. Okay, so if you run into fractions and you don't know which one goes where, make sure you think about what a whole number would be. Remember the whole, think of an easier problem kind of thing. That's all you're looking for in that. Let me see what else they ask. Or this one. How many 2/3 are in 1? How many, 2/3 in 1? Is it 2/3 divided by 1, or is it 1 divided by 2/3? How many 4s in 8? Which one goes on what side? Is it 8 divided by 4 or 4 divided by 8? 8 divided by 4. So it's 1 divided by 2/3, which is actually 1 times 3/2, which is 3/2, or 1 1/2. Which we can do, but I'm not going to. Now, back to what Danny said here. Take out a blank piece of paper and write, just so you have it in your book, the word reciprocal. We did this last year. What does reciprocal mean? What does reciprocal mean? The reciprocal is simply the fraction flipped over. When we do division, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. That's really what Danny said that. I decided to do this a little later here. So the recip of 5/8 is 8/5. You just take it, flip the fraction over. The reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. What if I asked you for the reciprocal of 8? Well, 8 is not a fraction, but you can always make a number a fraction by putting it over 1. So Danny says the answer is, is 1/8. Now, an important thing to know about reciprocals is that when you multiply a number by its reciprocal, if I took 5/8 times 8/5, or 1/3 times 3/1, or 1/8 times 1, you always get what, Brendan?
1.
Yeah. A number times its reciprocal is 1. Which sometimes they will give you this. I think you remember this from last year. Anytime you came up with this, 7/8 times what number equals 1? That's what I just said right there. Any number times, this would have to be its reciprocal, which is 7/7 equals 1. Not 2 here, let's say. Now, one more blank piece of paper. This will be the world's shortest note you could ever have. On top of this one, write the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. Anybody got a guess what that is?
Something has to do with multiplication.
This. Here, watch this. It's the same as reciprocal. That's all you need to know. It's the same thing. The multiplicative inverse of 5/8 is 8/5. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's all we need there. Multiplicative inverse is the same.